Metropolitan Stadium in Bloomington, Minnesota, for the matchup between the St. Louis Cardinals and the Minnesota Vikings. And good afternoon to you. I'm Pat Summerall with Tom Brookshire. I'd hate to be a defensive back today.
I gave both secondaries last rights down there. They're some of the great receivers in football, and I would say about 8 of them are on these two teams. The defense is really going to be tested on each side.
It's going to be some matchup. They're just about ready to go, so let's get at it.
Let's get it.
Jim Bakken has the ball teed up for the St. Louis Cardinals. Manfred Moore and Sammy White. Back deep for Minnesota. Moore is the guy in the middle, and he's the guy that Bakken would like to avoid if he can.
He's leading the NFL.
Manfred Moore at the 11. With a wedge in front of him, he breaks to the outside and got some Bakken. Oh, what a shot. Steve Jones down on the coverage for the St. Louis Cardinals.
And they picked Manfred Moore up from the Oakland Raiders after he was waived. He was just sitting around. Here are the Minnesota wide receivers. Take a look at it, folks. Remember, Tarkenton goes to his backs 58% of the time. Sammy White, Rashad Boyd, and, of course, Bob Tucker is also a tight end. His performance speaks for himself. Look at these for the Cardinals. Gray, Ike Harris, J.B. Kane, and Terry Metcalf coming out of the backfield. Dynamite.
The ball's at the 34, Minnesota's first offensive effort. It's to McClanahan, and McClanahan stopped by Eric Williams. On first down, he got a couple, and that's all.
Eric Williams is the young man from USC that did such a good job Monday night against the Giants, and he's going to get another start for St. Louis.
Here's the Viking backfield. Fran Tarkenton, of course, the quarterback. Brent McClanahan, the guy who just carried the ball, and Chuck Foreman.
The receivers, and one of the good offensive lines in pro football is in front of Fran Tarkenton.
At 35, Tarkenton throws outside in the direction of Ahmad Rashad. Incomplete, Roger Worley. The all-pro cornerback for the Cardinals out there with Ahmad Rashad. Here's the offensive line.
Big, solid, nasty. They're on their home turf, which is natural grass. And I mean, a good football player likes to get dirty. They will today.
Temperature today is 51 degrees. 83% humidity. Gray and overcast. In Bloomington, Minnesota, the lights have been on for a couple hours already. On third down and 9, Tarkenton. We'll look at those receivers we were just talking about. Down the middle he goes. That's Bob Tucker. The tight end that was just acquired from the Giants 2 weeks ago.
Tucker's averaged 45 catches a year for 7 seasons. That time he ran a pattern to the outside and brought it back across the middle. Watch to the left of your screen. Tucker turns out. Everything, good blocking, by the way. Excellent protection. Now he comes back across the middle. Really going against the grain, and Sensabaugh has to make the tackle.
First down, Minnesota in Cardinal territory at the 49, and Tarkenton's going to throw again. To Rashad, he has it. Out of bounds by Lee Nelson. Those of you who saw San Francisco defeat Atlanta, welcome to our broadcast. This is the first offensive series between the Minnesota Vikings and St. Louis Cardinals. No score. San Francisco beat Atlanta 10-3.
Looks like Fran may put it up about 45 times today.
He's not afraid. At the 44, second and 1. The fake, and he's going for the bunch. Intended for Sammy White. Nelson back there with him. White makes the catch out of bounds.
That's the cornerback's best friend, and that's the out-of-bounds line there, right behind Stan Jabbie, the official. Remember, Lee Nelson is a very young cornerback, a young kid from Florida State. Look how he moves Sammy White, so there's nowhere really to catch it and still be fair. He was foul.
Nelson improves week by week. With experience, he gets better, as you would expect.
Better be good today, I'll tell you that.
Final score, how about that upset? Without O.J. Simpson, Buffalo defeated New England 24-14. Mark Keller in the Minnesota backfield. And that is Chuck Foreman for the first down at the 35. Stopped by Mike Sensabaugh and Roger Worley.
We saw Foreman last week at the 51-yarder that really beat the Atlanta Falcons. That time he actually ran behind a negative block. They pulled the guard and ran in there without any blocking performance. He doesn't need a lot, does he?
There's perhaps nobody in the NFL who does as many things as well as Chuck Foreman. First and 10, Minnesota at the St. Louis 35. Brent McClanahan and Chuck Foreman now the running backs behind Tarkenton. Semi-sprint out. Francis Goetz back to Foreman. That's the move from Foreman. To the 20. To the 15. Chuck Foreman. Ron Yankowski finally made the tackle. Watch the juke he gives to Arneson.
I know it. Arneson now slipped down. The Cardinals are used to playing on artificial surface. This is the safety valve. Now watch this move. We always said he had not only eyes in the back of his head, but cleats on the side of his shoes. Incredible. Linebacker's down, and now there's a problem here. Reeves can't get set up. Looks like the Vikings are downfield, too.
At the Cardinal 15, it's 1st and 10, Minnesota. Chuck Foreman again looking for some place to go, and this time he slips. Still got a couple.
There's the defense for the Cardinals now. Yankowski, Big Mike Dawson, and Charlie Davis, the two young Southwest Conference tackles in there. Big John Zook, still one of the great pass rushers from the outside. The young linebackers that are going to be tested, and a secondary that really has its work cut out for it.
Those good receivers on both teams. We expect a lot of offense, and we've already seen a lot. At the 13, 2nd down for the Vikings. Tarkenton again is going to throw, or try to, and Foreman shakes a tackle. Foreman almost to the 10, stopped by John Zook.
Great recovery by Arneson, or Foreman might have scored on that. Cardinals came with a blitz that time up the middle. A perfect call would be to screen away after sprinting out right. It looks to me like the Minnesota offensive line is doing a pretty good job up front right now.
Again, Bob Tucker checks in, and Stu Voigt goes out. Tucker's one of those guys who has that uncanny knack of just getting lost. And all of a sudden, he pops up in the end zone. 3rd down, and 5 at the 10, and Tarkenton making motions like he might run. Tucker had it and dropped it at the 6. Down inside the 5, but it's incomplete. Ken Reeves right with him. Dallas remains undefeated. Those of you who watched the Cowboys defeat the Giants 24-10, welcome to Bloomington, Minnesota. I'm Pat Summerall with Tom Brookshire. Dallas now 8-0. Never had a start like that.
Fred Cox is 5 for 10, playing his last football for the Vikings, and this is within his range.
At the 17, Paul Krause will tee it up for Fred Cox. No good from the veteran. I can't believe he missed that one.
Guess it was too close.
Not the Fred Cox that we have been accustomed to seeing. Nothing here.
Your family farmed this land for 6 generations, and not one day was easy. The work never ends, but you do it with pride and all the strength you can muster.
Okay, boys, let's go home.
And when the sun finally takes a rest, so do you. And you call it Miller time. Time to relax and head for the best tasting beer you can find. Miller High Life, America's quality beer since 1855.
When it's time to relax, one beer stands clear. Beer after beer. If you got the time, we got the beer. Miller Beer.
Keep your eye on number 24. That's Wayne Morris, the second-year running back. He's had 309 yards in his last 3 starts. That makes it tough to worry about Terry Metcalf when you worry about Morris too little.
Ray Harrison Kane, the receiver, other than Metcalf, of course. Metcalf is number 21. Morris is the other running back behind Jim Hart. He's not messing around, is he? Hart fires deep, complete. I believe that's Terry Metcalf. It is. And the dangerous one. Watch him.
Now watch the formation. This is the only thing that he can do from this formation. He can't run to the right side because he's flexed to the left. He simply swings up. Jeff Seaman, number 50, now has to pick him up. And a middle linebacker, there's no way he doesn't need help on Terry Metcalf. Ike Harris, by the way, had cleaned out the area. And Metcalf is so open, I don't believe Jimmy Hart believed it. You better believe it. Right now, you better get a rope. Terry Metcalf. I missed him when he was warming up.
Jeff Seaman just overran him a little bit now. First down, St. Louis at midfield. 9:59 left to play in the first quarter. No scores yet. And here is Metcalf again on the sweep to the right side to the 40. Inside the 40 to about the 37. Stopped by Fred McNeil and Jeff Wright.
Wow, J.V. Kane took Carl Eller down, and they kicked the linebacker out. And that's about as big a hole as I've ever seen against the Vikings. Watch this play. It's a crossbuck, misdirection play, and I'll tell you, that offensive line can really block. Look at him getting out in front. There's your cornerback being wiped out.
Deerdorf and Dobler just wiped out Doug Sutherland. That wiped up the whole thing. First and 10. At the 37, it's Metcalf again. Flag goes down as Metcalf gets close to the 30. Alan Page on the tackle.
They threw the flag on right on the center, Tom Banks. This is such a good offensive line. Occasionally they do hold, but they're even good at holding.
Ben Dreith is the referee. The umpire, John Keck. The headlinesman, Frank Glover. The line judge, Jack Johnson. The back judge, the veteran Stan Javy. And the field judge is Dick Ferguson. This will be Ben Dreith.
Offensive holding, number 54.
Center is Tom Banks, and he is number 54.
Finney and Deerdorf must go half a ton. They must be 290 apiece.
How about Bob Young?
285.
The world's strongest man. First and 20 at the 47 for Jim Hart and the Cardinals. No score. Hart drops. Ike Harris on the reception. Stopped by Jeff Wright.
And nobody around him. Ike Harris, by the way, is listed at 6'3". He's at least as tall as J.V. Kane, the big tight end. And what an acquisition. Played a little WFL football. And this defensive team right now better get it to go. And there are people wide open.
When you got Mel Gray on one side and Ike Harris and J.V. Kane and Metcalf coming out of the backfield, a lot of guys are going to have busy days. Second and 14. Line of scrimmage is the 41-yard line for the St. Louis Cardinals. They think this game is a must. And I think they're right. Hard on the draw play. Morris, he hurdles inside the 35 to about the 32. Jeff Seaman is the guy who made the tackle.
Talking to Don Coryell before the game, and he says Morris's legs are the second strongest on the football team. Only Deerdorf can do more. You know, they put him almost on a seismograph to check him out, and this guy only weighs 205 pounds.
He shook some ground then.
Through the air.
At the 33, it'll be 3rd and 6 for the Cardinals. Hard again in a passing situation. Keep your eye on Metcalf. Comes out of the backfield. Down the middle to Morris. Tackle gets inside the 20 to about the 17. Stopped by Bobby Bryant. Jim Hart looks sharp.
Morris had 13 catches coming into this. Remember, he's the second man out. Metcalf leaves. Now you think you're pretty safe if you're over on defense, and all of a sudden you've got a problem. The other back that nobody ever worried about before has speed and power.
Cardinals come back after that big holding penalty and get the first down. Mark of a good offensive football team. At the 17, 1st and 10.
Looks like the plays are almost pre-called. They're snapping them off.
Got a feeling we're not going to see too many punts today. Hart is 3 out of 3. Here's Morris trying to get inside. Breaks to the outside. Stopped by Jeff Seaman at the 15.
That's the best way to slow down the speed. It's that sudden stop at the end of it, right? Good tackle by Seaman.
2-yard pickup by Morris. Make it 2nd and 8. Doug Sutherland looks over to the sideline.
We haven't mentioned Conrad Dobler yet.
We will.
Dracula, Wyatt Earp. He's got so many nicknames. There's a classy guy, Jimmy Hart.
Fake to Metcalf. Hart with plenty of time throws to Jackie Smith. Inside the 10 to the 5 to the 3. Here's Jackie Smith. Jeff Wright. Nate Wright on the tackle.
Patrick, absolutely no pass rush. And Jackie Smith, who's caught so many, in maybe his last season, caught a big one. Look at this. Look at the pass protection for Hart. Now watch him look around. He's got 4 or 5 receivers. He deploys it, lays it out. He knows exactly what Jackie Smith can do with it. That's always a straight line into contact.
It'll be 1st and goal for the Cardinals. Ball at the 4-yard line. full house backfield now. Steve Jones, Wayne Morris, Terry Metcalf comes in motion. Morris perhaps to the line of scrimmage, no more. Jeff Seaman again at the bottom of the pile.
Seaman was one of the rare Vikings that had an extremely good day in the Super Bowl. Raiders are not Super Bowl champions, but I'll tell you, number 50 really battled that day.
No gain on that last play, so it's 2nd and goal at the 4 now.
The Vikings only have 15 sacks. Toriel is getting information from 2 different coaches upstairs and deciphering the play out to his quarterback. I don't know how he gets it all done.
Again, 3 running backs. This is Jones, Steve Jones.
Got a fumble down at the bottom there, and the Vikings claim they came up with it.
A lot of jumping around by Matt Blair. And he's still claiming they had the football. So far, a rather quiet crowd. Let's watch that play again.
How about a stunned crowd?
Yeah.
Again, the offensive line. There's Gobler coming on through on all 4s. Pretty good defensive stack up here, and the Vikings claimed the ball was loose.
Like they might be right.
They've only recovered 3 fumbles. That's the reason they're so important to them.
3rd and goal to Minnesota 2 for the Cardinals. No score yet. Hart goes outside, cuts down Metcalf. He wastes no time getting rid of it. Jim Hart with a good fake. Nate Allen on the coverage. 80 yards they went in 10 plays, and here's the climax.
6 touchdown pass for Jimmy Hart, who no longer has to throw it all the time because he's got the good running game, and even the spike is quick.
Everything Metcalf does is quick.
Hey, that looked like dummy scrimmage. That looked like they were working out back in St. Louis.
Jim Bakken with Roger Worley holding. Flag goes down. The extra point by Bakken is good. And we'll hold it for just a second and see what the discussion is about.
Patrick, we tried to touch on it, and we don't like to come out and say things.
Fence offside. Point is good. 5 yards on a kickoff.
But the Minnesota defense is no longer the bunch of stingers they used to be. They're not a physical team on defense anymore.
It is 7-0 St. Louis. 4:12 left to play in the first quarter.
We'd like to tell you the cold, hard facts about another kind of motor oil. An oil that will give the average car up to 10 extra miles per tank full of gas. A synthetic engine lubricant that can also help a properly maintained car get started at 35 below zero. Mobil One, the oil that saves you gas and turns over at 35 below.
Introducing the Ford in your future, the new Ford Fairmont. A new car designed for today and the years ahead. Fairmont's mileage ratings are the same as a little VW Rabbit when both are equipped with automatic transmission. And this Fairmont, as shown, is actually sticker priced less than this Rabbit. Yet Fairmont has 90% of the head, leg, and shoulder room of most large cars. Fairmont, roomy but with mileage like a small car, and the lowest sticker price in its class. Test drive Fairmont, the newest, better idea from Ford.
That's the story of the St. Louis scoring drive. 10 plays, 80 yards. They kept the ball for just over 6.5 minutes, and Jim Bakken has it teed up now at the 40. There was a penalty on the extra point, which was good. The Cardinals then kick off from the 40 instead of the 35, and here's Bakken. Manfred Moore will take it at the 2. With a wedge in front, here he comes. Swinging to the outside, Moore to about the 28, where he's knocked out of bounds by Jeff Severson.
I tell you, he's something else. He is so crazy about contact, he played professional rugby in Sydney, Australia, just to get some action in.
Veteran Fran Tarkenton checks in with the Minnesota offensive unit. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Vikings at their own 28. The Cardinals lead at 7-0. Draw play to Chuck Foreman, who comes to the outside, or tries to, gets it to about the 29 for a pickup of perhaps one. John Zook and Charlie Davis. From behind the quarterback. Watch that play develop.
And the Cardinals are lined up in a 34 defense. You're going to be seeing more of that all the time. It's a misdirection, sort of a trap away, they call it. Actually, Foreman's trying to get outside. Good play by Davis coming over from the nose position. Buried him.
Perhaps a yard by Foreman. So make it 2nd and 9. That's the final score. Cincinnati 10, Cleveland 7. Tarkenton drops. Outside to Foreman again. And again, Chuck shoots. It's out of bounds after he gets first down yardage. Eric Williams knocked him out.
Eric Williams got pretty good position on a normal person.
But not Chuck Foreman.
Not Chuck Foreman.
Miami 14, the New York Jets 10. That's the final score. Don Shula and Walt Michaels both doing outstanding coaching jobs.
There's the Zucker, one of the great outside pass rushers around.
Chuck Foreman did not quite get enough yardage for a first down. I was mistaken about that. Looks like they need about a foot, and it's 3rd down. Chuck Foreman this time got it. Outside the 40 to about the 41. Mike Sensabaugh came up and made the tackle.
Good block by the fullback, Mark Keller now. Watch the back come in and seal off in front, right there. And Goodrum got a pretty good block along with Tingelhoff. Sometimes that short yardage stuff can break open. You got to be very careful with number 44.
At the 41, first down for Minnesota. Quick screen to Sammy White. A couple of blockers in front. Yeary got out in front of Sammy White.
Great play by Lee Nelson, the cornerback. He came up and took on number 73 you see walking back, who is a house. 6'6", about 270, and Nelson goes about 185.
Detroit shut out San Diego 20-0. That's the final score as well.
2nd and 3 for the Vikings.
7-yard pickup, so make it 2nd and 3 for Minnesota. Foreman down to about the 40 where Sensabaugh made the tackle. A lot of offense so far.
Oh, great blocking in there by Eddie White, number 62, and Tingelhoff. Tingelhoff's about the only center that's ever played up here with the Vikings. Watch him now. You're looking right at it. They turn Dawson around. White gets through the hole and sort of seals it off. It was just wide enough for 44.
Both teams have made 5 first downs already as that calm, quiet capacity crowd looks on. The Vikings beginning to move. 1st and 10 in St. Louis territory. Tarkenton fakes, again throws to White. Same play again. Yeary comes out in front of him. This time, the Cardinals converge, led by Lee Nelson. He was the first one to hit him.
I'll tell you one thing. He's having his problems because he's a new young cornerback, and the other fellow happens to be Roger Worley. But Nelson has played those two hitches about as well as you can play them.
About a yard. This telecast is presented by authority of the National Football League. It's intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Minnesota Vikings and the National Football League is prohibited.
Sort of cool, you know what? I almost feel like Canadian geese are going to come over or something.
There's a guy who could tell us. Bud Grant. 2nd and 9. That's the final score. The Eagles 28, New Orleans 7. That's Brent McClanahan on 2nd down, who's got about 3 or 4. Not much. Mark Arneson, one of the tacklers. In fact, all 3 of the Cardinal linebackers converged. Bob Chucker checks in. Stu Voigt goes out.
St. Louis has given up about 4.7 a rush, so people think they can run against them, but they're young and they're sort of improving there, and that would maybe be where the Vikings have to work a little bit to open it up.
Of course, they're coming off that shutout of the Giants last week. 3rd and 6. Tarkenton straight back this time. Throws outside to McClanahan. He's still on his feet. Does not get the first down. He got to about the 35. Roger Worley and Mike Sensabaugh made the tackle. At the end of quarter number 1 in Bloomington, Minnesota, it's the St. Louis Cardinals 7, the Minnesota Vikings nothing.
Are you still chained to? Gotcha. The rechargeable Norelco rotary razor lets you walk away, free from nicks and cuts. Its 36 surgical steel rotary razor blades are safely protected inside 3 floating heads to give you a comfortable shave that's razor close, razor smooth. For for up to 3 weeks on a single charge. The rechargeable Norelco rotary razor. It lets you walk away from gotcha.
Hi. Heading for your Avis car? Well, I'm the guy who checked it out. Yes, sir. Had the fan belt adjusted, the oil changed, even checked the power windows.
Very nice.
Gonna purr like a kitten. At Avis, we try harder. We designed our own car care program to help make our cars safe and ready to go.
Thank you.
Herbert, is he family?
We try harder, Avis, we don't know another way.
Judd Hirsch guest stars as Rhoda has a new romance.
Dinner to a drive-in movie, make out a little bit.
Yeah, last night, sensational.
Watch Rhoda Sunday night.
At the 35-yard line of St. Louis, Minnesota sends in Neil Clabo, number 12. He, of course, is their punter.
Kicked extremely well against the Atlanta Falcons.
Don Coryell.
You can tell he's a former Marine, can't you?
Surely can. Pat Tilley back in single safety for St. Louis, standing at the 10, but Clabo will try to go out of bounds with it. Hangs it high and into the end zone. They'll bring it out to the 20. A little bit restless up here, it seems to me.
I'll tell you one thing, you've got to get points anytime you get within range against the Cardinals, or they can blow you right out.
CBS Sports Spectacular has the Dixie 500 next Saturday at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time. The Pendleton Roundup Rodeo, featuring Larry Mahan and group. The world's strongest men competition.
Yeah, what are they going to be doing this time?
I think they already threw the tire, didn't they? A tram pull, whatever that is. Over 8,000 pounds. If you can move that, you got to be strong. 16. At the 20, the Cardinals and Jim Hart. The handoff is to Terry Metcalf, and he cuts back inside, or tries to. He's coming back this way, and look out. This is when he can really be dangerous. Jeff Wright grabbed the foot and hung on. A good tackle.
Seaman made a super play, and I think he's hurt his leg again. Watch Dobler now pull to the right of your screen and go out and work on Seaman, who shoots the gap number 50. Turns back on him, and Dobler just sort of crunched him from behind. Watch the body fall, and now Metcalf gets a little bit of breathing room. Remember, that's regular grass, and he's not used to it. Looks like he's adjusted pretty well.
Mark Mullaney has replaced Jim Marshall as the right defensive end. On second down, Jim Hart drops and throws. Harris almost had a first down. The tackle by Nate Wright again. How about this one? In the fourth quarter, Houston 31, the Chicago Bears nothing.
Bum Phillips has a good defense. He's proved it today. If he can hold Walter Payton down, keep him off the board.
31 points against a very strong Bear defense heretofore.
Patrick, absolutely no penetration by the Viking down 4, and I'm including Alan Page in there. Ray Wilsey,
Cardinal assistant coach,
defensive coordinator, and Larry Wilson looking over his shoulder. That's a pretty good guy to be checking your notes.
Pretty good player he was, wasn't he? Third about 2 for the Cardinals, with Jim Hart again the quarterback, or still, I should say. And it's Metcalf, the ball carrier. He came close. Got knocked backwards, but he came close to a first down. Matt Blair and Nate Wright met him with authority.
Looked like Finney, the off tackle, took Metcalf outside. Metcalf might have gotten to the sidelines, but he cut back inside, and I'll tell you, I don't think he made an inch.
Hart looking over to the sidelines, saying they only need a couple of inches. But we'll see Dwayne Carroll now, who was kicking extremely well in practice before the game, by the way.
I'll tell you, he just drilled the Giants the other day. He had 5 inside the 20 on Monday night, and they had some problems punting the football, and we've tried to tell people that's about the most important thing you can have going for you if it's good these days.
Manfred Moore is back by himself, waiting for Dwayne Carroll's punt. This one, not too good an effort. Bounces at the 40. Moore has it. Loaded down with desire, isn't he?
He doesn't even know what the fair catch is. He's only fair caught 2 punts out of 30 this year.
So with 12 minutes, 20 seconds remaining before the half, the Cardinals lead Minnesota 7-0.
That's a good picture. That's a better picture. Even closer. Even better. Polaroid's SX70 does, without attachments, what no other camera can do. Shoot from less than a foot away. In minutes, you have a color portrait, sharp and clear. Polaroid's SX70 Alpha 1.
When it's so cold, a radiator can freeze solid, and you're still rolling. That's the mark of Xerex. When it's so hot, a radiator can blow its top, and you're still driving cool. That's the mark of Xerex. When corrosion is eating holes in radiators, and you're still going strong. That's the mark of Xerex. Start fresh now with year-round protection. That's the mark of Xerex.
1st and 10 for the Vikings at their own 40. Pat Summerall with Tom Brookshire watching Fran Tarkenton go for Sammy White. Picked off by Mike Sensabaugh, who's still in bounds. He hadn't been out yet. Sammy White from behind, Sensabaugh still on his feet. Cutting back the other direction. Mike Sensabaugh. Finally put down by Brent McClanahan and Doug Sutherland. Chuck Goodrum over to help out, too.
The ball was not thrown very well, and Sensabaugh actually was just coming over on the throw. Here it is. Sammy White running straight up and didn't seem to put too much on. Nelson has a little bit of problem. Here's the comeback, and Sensabaugh gets his second interception in the last 5 or 6 days. He went 79 last Monday night.
Pretty good run, too.
Not bad for an Ohio Stater. Of course, they learned how to run under Woody Hayes, or they can't even go to school there. Now he's nailed.
McClanahan put him down, and Jim Hart, the Cardinals have a 1st and 10 in Minnesota territory. Mel Gray has it. Gray breaks back to the inside, breaks a couple of tackles. Down close to the 20, stopped by Jeff Wright. Talk about dangerous people. Mel Gray.
Jeff Wright looks like he might be hurt, and I'm telling you, Mel Gray at 5'9", I think, is the most dangerous receiver in football. He runs a 4.35. Now watch the acceleration. He'll come to the right of your screen now. The fake inside to try to hold the linebackers. A quick, easy, safe throw. And look at this.
He of the very quick feet, and the Cardinals are knocking again.
Introducing a new 1978 Ford Granada, the ESS. Can you tell it from this impressive $20,000 Mercedes 280 SE? Granada. Mercedes. Granada. Mercedes. Granada. Mercedes. The new Ford Granada ESS. See how close you can come to the look of a $20,000 Mercedes at the price of a Granada. When America needs a better idea, Ford puts it on wheels.
Dribbles to the top of the key, shoots, good. The pitch, a swing and a miss, strike 3.
Ever want to watch two things that are on at the same time? Well, now you can, because Sony's revolutionary Betamax deck, which hooks up to any TV set, can actually videotape something off one channel while you're watching another channel. With Sony's Betamax, you won't miss a thing.
A triple play. You've just seen a triple play.
No, I didn't.
You don't see those very often.
Except for the insurance and closing.
Oh, well, what insurance company?
Ah, they're all the same.
Allstate's different.
Different? How?
We give a 10% discount for newer homes.
Oh?
It's a 10% discount.
Now 10% off our rate.
On basic homeowners insurance for houses 5 years old or less.
Allstate's different, all right.
Good hand.
Oh, boy.
When it takes being different to be better, Allstate will do it.
That's a promise from us. The good hands people.
The ball at the Minnesota 23-yard line. 1st and 10, St. Louis. They already lead 7-0. Jim Hart gives to Metcalf. Metcalf looks like he might have some room to the outside. To the 15 he goes. Matt Blair and Jeff Seaman made the tackle.
You want to see Wayne Morris, the other back, do his job blocking. You got to watch this. 24 comes out and just kicks him right out. All right, here's what happens. Here's Blair, the linebacker, now trying to fill. They've handled Carlisle, or Dober's trying to get his fangs on Blair. And I'll tell you, Metcalf zooms in there, but Morris is a good-looking blocker in the backfield for him.
About an 8-yard pickup for Terry Metcalf, so make it 2nd and 2 now The ball at the 14. Metcalf comes back. Jim Hart gives to Morris, and he struggles. Mark Mullaney, number 77, who's taken Jim Marshall's place, made the tackle, along with Jeff Wright.
Jim Hart is 7 for 7 for 92 yards, 6 different receivers. Now, that is a game plan. That's what you think about doing all week. And Coryell says that when you lay out the game plan for Jim Hart, that's the way he does it on Sunday.
In the fourth quarter, Kansas City, under their new head coach, Tom Bettis, leading Green Bay 17-10. You saw Ben Dreith indicate how much the Cardinals need for a first down. So it'll be 3rd and inches for St. Louis. Dallas is 8-0 now after beating the Giants today. St. Louis 4-3, Washington 4-3, Giants 3-5, and Philadelphia 3-5 in the NFC East.
A little concern on the sidelines by both Grant and Tarkington.
With inches to go, Jim Hart brings them to the line of scrimmage. 10:20 left in the second quarter. 7-0, St. Louis. The long count, but nobody jumped so far, and finally they did. Perhaps enough for the first down, but I believe the Vikings' Matt Blair was offside.
Either James White or Matt Blair. It was either 72 or 59. It's an easy way to get a first.
That's what happened.
5-9.
Ben Dreith will tell us in just a minute who it was.
The tip-off was that even when they were offside, they didn't make any penetration.
Defense offside, number 59. That's a first down.
Matt Blair is the guy who jumped offsides. And as Tom Brookshire said, no penetration, even by being offside.
Dobler has him by the leg.
Took him right down, didn't he? At the 8, it's 1st and goal, St. Louis. They already lead 7-0. Gary Metcalf to the outside, to the 5, to the 4. Nate Wright and Jeff Seaman made the tackle.
Jeff Wright is back in the game, I believe. He did leave temporarily on that tackle of Mel Gray. And I was trying to figure out when I'd ever seen Jeff Wright have an injury. He's had 5 knee operations, but it always happened in the off-season before he came back to play.
That's pretty bad when you get hurt in the off-season. 5 knee operations?
5. But still plays super.
Ball at the 4. 2nd and goal. Metcalf and Morris, the 2 running backs. Hart fakes and fires. Touchdown again. That's Wayne Morris, I believe. It is Wayne Morris. The Cardinals went 44 yards in 5 plays. They lead now 13-0.
Morris's first touchdown catch, and the key to the fade is how quickly Jimmy Hart loads it up and throws it. Watch this. He doesn't take much time. The offensive line, by the way, is doing a superb job. Look how quickly he throws it. Wright's got his back turned. Morris gets number 1. That will not be the last touchdown pass 24 is going to catch.
Jim Bakken with Worley Holding splits him. Makes it St. Louis 14, Minnesota nothing. We have 9 minutes and 26 seconds left before the half, and the Cardinals, with their offense in high gear, lead the Minnesota Vikings 14-0.
I dare you to knock this off. I dare you to compare anybody's batteries, anybody's, with alkaline power cells. Try to beat them for long life. You know what? You can't. When you want long-lasting energy, you can't buy a longer-lasting, all-purpose power system than gold, red, and black alkaline power cells from Everready. Come on. I dare you.
This drop is too little to cover the head of a match. Yet this is enough adhesive, super strong, super fast to lift 2.5 tons. It's Duro Super Glue. A drop will do to mend jewelry, ceramics, rubber, and glass in only 10 seconds. It truly is super strong and super fast. Super Glue. A drop will do. Super Glue. A product of Loctite Technology.
The Viking looks a little dejected right now. The Cardinals lead him 14-0.
His horns are even turned down.
Wilted.
Wilted.
Jim Bakken has it teed up at the 35. Manfred Moore Sammy White and Robert Miller back deep in Minnesota. It's going to be Miller, I believe. Well, he had it for a second and Ward took it away from him. Give me the ball, it's mine. I'm supposed to play with it.
That's about the most exciting thing so far that the Viking fans have seen. A missed Fred Cox field goal in the first period.
Don't forget tomorrow at 8 p.m., 7 p.m. Central and Mountain Time, Logan's Run here on CBS. We've seen the Cardinals run in this first half so far. They lead Minnesota 14-0. But don't you forget Logan's Run. Got Foreman circles to the right. Tarkenton going deep for Sammy White. Just overthrown. White was open, covered by Roger Worley, but he had a couple of steps.
Fran threw that one 55 yards and overthrew Sammy White, so that arm is A-OK. Sammy White was open, too, by about a stride and a half. White does not have the blinding speed that I've always thought he's had. They tell me he goes to the ball better than any receiver they've ever had up here.
He looks like he's fast. He gets open like he's fast.
I tell you, he can really move it.
Denver 14, Pittsburgh nothing in the first quarter. The Broncos are tough, too. 2nd and 10 for Minnesota. Fran Tarkenton runs the draw play to Foreman. He's got some room. Chuck Foreman has the first down at the 48-yard line, stopped by Marv Kellum.
Watch it to the left of your screen. Now watch Arneson try to fill the gap and get caught in between. Well, I'll tell you, sideways, upside down.
What's that again?
Number 44. Now this is the move that you just can't teach anybody. But he had that when he was 4.
At the 48, it's 1st and 10 Minnesota. Tarkenton moves to the left, looks back to the right, fires. Caught by Ahmad Rashad. He breaks a couple of tackles and comes close to another Minnesota first down, stopped by Sensabaugh.
What a catch. Had 7 last week against Atlanta. But this is one of the great catches because I'll tell you, Francis put some mustard on this because he got into a little bit of a problem. Watch this catch now. That is fingertip control.
It's also very good hands. It's a first down on that completion from Tarkenton to Ahmad Rashad. All at the Cardinal 42. Minnesota moving now. 1st and 10. Cardinals lead 14-0. Back to Foreman again. This time, nothing doing. Tackle by Ron Yankowski. Los Angeles leading Tampa Bay 10-0 in the second quarter. The Buccaneers still looking for a victory.
And no hope in sight. Except they have, what, the Giants next week?
Next week, right.
If this defense just brings the level of play up close to the offensive thing right now, these Cardinals are going to be somewhere during the holiday season playing some football.
Tarkenton 9 of 13 to 5 different receivers. Keep everybody happy. The blitz doesn't work, and Foreman does. Spins away almost from Eric Williams, but he hung on.
That's a heck of a tackle by number 55 in the open field. This play could have gone for a touchdown. The blitz was on. Pretty good call against the blitz, and nobody reads it faster than Tarkenton. And watch the play to by number 55. USC man, rookie.
5-yard gain is all, and as Tom said, it could have been much more. Oakland leading Seattle 10-0 second quarter. They'll make it 3rd and 5 at the 37-yard line of St. Louis for Minnesota. Fake draw. Tarkenton for Rashad. He can't get there.
Wow. I wonder if Fran is pumped up to make sure he doesn't underthrow anybody now, and he's overthrown 2 receivers that were open. That is not like number 10.
Tarkenton walks to the sideline, and Neil Clabo arrives on the scene, the punter. Pat Tilley goes back in single safety, standing at the 10-yard line for the Cardinals. There's Clabo. He looks like a Viking, doesn't he?
He's kicked it out inside the 20 11 times. Very important one here.
Aiming for the side this time. Tilley puts up the hand. Ball again goes into the end zone. And a few boos from the crowd as twice Claybo has tried to kick it out of bounds and both times has put it into the end zone. So the Cardinals will start from the 20. They lead 14-0.
This year, when you step out on the town, don't just drive. Take off in the 1978 Thunderbird. With its distinctive look and size, its Thunderbird quality and comfort. And it comes at a down-to-earth price of $58.08 with automatic transmission, power steering, power brakes, V8 and more. Flight test the 1978 Thunderbird. When America needs a better idea, Ford puts it on wheels.
Here's to good friends. Tonight is kind of special.
Where you been? It wasn't easy getting tickets for this game.
Hey, Bob.
Teddy, I know exactly what I want. I want the biggest steak you got and a bottle of Lowenbrow. Steak and Lowenbrow. Dolan, you're a genius.
When you want the taste of a truly great beer, tonight, let it be Lowenbrow.
Here's to the chef. Here's to the bartender.
You want to see how adorable and shy I am?
On Our Own, the lights go out and Julia gets turned on by a tall, dark stranger. On Our Own, tonight, following Rhoda.
14-0. The Cardinals lead the Vikings.
Even the cheering section is having sort of a flat day. They didn't seem to be into that one, did they?
Not really. At the 20, Jim Hart still the Cardinal quarterback. 14-0 with 6:14 left to play before the half. Straight ahead is Morris. Breaks a couple of tackles, gets about 6. He looks like a good runner.
One of those unknowns out of SMU. Last year he looked like he was going to be the great runner, and the people around St. Louis claim he's as good a blocker as anybody they've ever had in the backfield, and they've had Jimmy Otis back there for the last few years.
How about that guy? And how about that score? 47-0. Houston over Chicago.
Ron Phillips says he's mad at the officials.
Yeah. Timeout on the field for
It's not working, so we're going to turn both of them off.
Ben Dry said we're going to turn off both of the 30-second clocks. They're not functioning correctly.
You can put people on the moon, but we can't get clocks to run in stadiums. It's really ridiculous, isn't it?
That's 2 weeks in a row we've had problems with the 30-second clock. Very overcast in Minnesota. Threat of rain very present. Here's Metcalf swinging around to the outside and out of bounds. Pushed out by Bobby Bryant. Metcalf got enough for a first down for the Cardinals.
Again, Morris made the key block on the outside linebacker, and I mean cut him down. It's one thing to sort of have somebody make yardage, but when the Cardinals are doing things, there are large open spaced areas around them.
Vikings look very sluggish. Look what Jim Hart's done so far.
Imagine not having an incompletion yet. And he goes on streaks where he can go 12 or 15 straight passes before one finally misses.
First and 10. Cardinals have it at their own 32. Got rid of it. J.D. Kane has got blockers in front. More than enough for a first down, and big J.D. Kane rumbles down to about the 30. Jeff Wright finally got him down, but what a play by Jim Hart and J.D. Kane.
The Vikings gambled with a blitz and did it backfire. Hart makes a quick read of it. Watch him now. He sees the blitz coming particularly from the left side of your screen and dumps it. Dobler's going to the outside. Banks is on the inside. I'll tell you, Kane at 225 pounds is like a runaway locomotive.
Watch Dobler.
Here he is. They said if they played after 12 o'clock midnight that Cardinals will be undefeated. He goes after anybody.
Good block by Dobler. Flag goes down as Metcalf cuts back inside the 25. Jeff Wright again made the tackle, and those safety men from Minnesota have had to make a lot of tackles. Hart is now 9 out of 9.
Guess who they're flagging? I think it's Conrad. And he can't believe it. They said he runs a bar out in Encampment, Wyoming. That's got to be some saloon.
Said he was the bouncer for a while, but he wasn't mean enough.
Now he just plays piano, right?
Ben Dryth will walk it off. We have 4 minutes and 52 seconds left now before the half. Cardinals already lead 14-0. Rather surprisingly, the ease with which they've handled the Minnesota defense.
And it's that offensive line that is the spirit of this Cardinal team, which is very unusual for an offensive line.
72 is holding, and also 54 was holding.
Everybody was holding.
Except Conrad Dobler. Deardoff and Banks both did it. Maybe Conrad would just learn to argue because they're his buddies.
Hart pulled his belt off. I thought he was going to whip the two guys that were holding.
It's the quietest I've ever seen the crowd up here.
It really is. There's Conrad.
Looks like a nice guy up here.
I'll tell him. 1st and 20. Hart. Draw play to Metcalf, and again he gets a big chunk of yardage. Down inside the 30. Jeff Seaman made the tackle.
Metcalf averages 5 yards every time he touches the ball, and really, I think you'd be glad to give him 5 yards. It's those 55-yarders that he can break off.
He can break just about anything.
72 and 54.
A good offensive unit for St. Louis. 14-0 with 4 minutes, 20 seconds left before the half. Metcalf is carried 7 times for 47 yards. Morris comes in motion. Metcalf takes the pitch out. Morris out in front of him. Metcalf down to about the 21-yard line before he's tackled by Doug Sutherland.
And he's helping Sutherland back up. Metcalf can't weigh over 175 pounds.
Don Coryell in communication with everybody. It's intriguing how they call the plays, isn't it?
Offensive coaches, both passing and rushing, talk to one another down to the bench, and then he makes the decision whether it's the run or the pass, and then they somehow signal the quarterback. That's all done in a few seconds.
They designate different guys on each series to signal. And now Hart wants to check out. He must have missed the signal. So Hart goes over. Look at that. Tom Banks, of course, is number 54. St. Louis 14, Minnesota nothing.
It's hard to tell the difference between JCPenney plain pockets jeans and the world's best-selling jeans. After all, they're both made of tough, heavy denim with good looks and great styling. In fact, you probably couldn't tell the difference at all unless you noticed the fancy stitching on the back of those famous jeans, or the money you saved on plain pockets. JCPenney plain pockets. The big difference between us and them is the pocket and the price.
Wherever you may roam, you'll find our name is known. You can trust it, Delco. Thanks, Delco. Delco Freedom Battery. When things are getting thick and you want to start real quick, you can trust it, Delco. Thanks, Delco. Delco Freedom Battery. They've got the stuff when the starting's tough. You can trust it, Delco. Thanks, Delco. Delco Freedom Battery. Delco Freedom. Thanks, Delco.
Don Coryell looking at his offensive unit now, which has been most impressive. 3rd and very short yardage for the St. Louis Cardinals, who lead Minnesota 14-0 in Bloomington, Minnesota. 3:39 left before the half. Steve Jones, one of the running backs. Straight ahead, Morris, touchdown. His second of the day. And it looks so simple. And here come the Blues again.
Roger Finney and Bob Young on the left side. They just took Alan Page and Mulaney and buried him. Let's watch it. Page was on the nose. They just blew him right through there. And we've said earlier, he hits the line at full speed. He's flat out after 2 steps.
80 yards in 7 plays for St. Louis. It is now 20-0. St. Louis over Minnesota. The extra point is blocked. No good by Bakken. So the Cardinals' lead remains at 20-0. Matt Blair may have gotten a hand on it.
That's about the only thing we've had the people cheer about around here. The thing right now the Cardinals have to worry about is keeping the intensity up. For some reason, the Vikings can't really get it started. They don't seem to be mean or miserable or anything right now.
Blair got a hand on the extra point and deflected it. So that was not good. And look at Coryell. Look at his reaction. 20-0 he leads. He wanted it to be 21. Tonight at 8 o'clock, 7 Central and Mountain Time, Rhoda.
She gets romantically involved with a restaurant owner, which means that at least she'll eat well. I'm reading this copy. They say that the key to a man's heart is through his stomach, and we'll find out if Rhoda can pull that one off. When is that tonight, huh?
Right. See if she can find the key. Jim Bakken tees it up. 80 yards in 6 plays for that last Cardinal drive, and again, they overcame a holding penalty. Bakken's kickoff goes out of bounds, and they'll move back to the 30. Robert Miller just let it bounce over there.
Jimmy Bakken is now sort of seeking out areas to drop the ball into. He can't get to the end zone all the time with it. He's kicked long and extremely well for the Cardinals. But now he's going to be kicking from the 30, and I imagine away from Manfred Moore.
That's a job in itself, to get it away from Manfred Moore. Bakken, for so many years, has done such a heck of a job.
And a return of some kind might be the only way the Vikings can get it turned on.
There's Manfred Moore, and that, of course, Jim Bakken.
He's got a regular leg, just normal leg and shoe, huh?
Straight away. 16 years he's been kicking. And again, a short kick, and Manfred Moore takes it at the 21. Shakes up the middle. Moore out close to midfield. Almost broke it. Bakken had to make the tackle. There's Manfred Moore. And for the first time... Caught down the middle. Robert Miller made the catch inside the 40. I'd like to welcome those of you who saw Kansas City defeat Green Bay 20-10 to our broadcast from Bloomington, Minnesota, where the St. Louis Cardinals lead the Vikings 20-0. At Summerall with Tom Brookshire. Gray, overcast day before a sellout crowd at the Met. St. Louis calls the timeout. They have 1 left. We have 2 minutes, 54 seconds left before the half. The Vikings have all 3 of their timeouts.
I think the young Williams, the linebacker, is going off like he's shaken up just a bit. You've got to keep in mind that the Vikings have had people wide open, too. They can jump back in this football game very quickly. Coryell knows that.
Fran Tarkenton, 11 out of 17. 1 interception. The Viking passing attack has picked up 92 yards. But Grant looking on. You'll have a chance to look on at the half, and see highlights of all the other games and scores from around the league with Brent, Phyllis, and Irv. But don't go away at the half.
This man can put 400-yard days on the board, and he's overthrown 2 wide open receivers deep. And the St. Louis defense is still suspect in some areas.
At the 40. First down, Vikings, 1st and 10. Cardinal 40, they trail 20-0. Here's Chuck Foreman coming around to the outside with some in. Foreman breaks a couple of tackles, 2 more down inside the 10. Chuck Foreman off to another great day, stopped finally by Mark Arneson. It'll be 1st and goal, Minnesota.
Foreman over 500 yards rushing now. He came in with 495. Look at the block on the outside by number 35.
Robert Miller.
And I'll tell you, Foreman looks for ways to break it open. He doesn't have great speed. He just has great football instinct.
It'll be 1st and goal as we get close to the notification that we have 2 minutes left before the half. Here is Foreman's run again.
Miller makes the block. Foreman makes the yardage. Don't go away.
In stage 1 of my life, I couldn't stand dull wheels. I'm the same in stage 2. with my new 78 Ford LTD2, the trimmer sportier LTD at a trimmer price, the LTD of mid-size cars. If you're a sporty guy who appreciates the finer things in life, welcome to stage 2.
Isn't it you in an LTD2? You'll never know till you try.
Houston 47, the Chicago Bears nothing. Welcome to those of you who watched that game, and welcome to this one. St. Louis 20, Minnesota nothing, with 2 minutes to go before the end of the first half. It is first and goal, Minnesota. The crowd at the Met comes to life. At the 8. Robert Miller bangs down to about the 6 before the Cardinals converge, led by Mike Dawson.
Neither quarterback has been close to being sacked. In fact, there's been little pressure on either one. And Foreman, working for Fran Tarkenton, has 36 yards pass receiving, 72 rushing for 108 yards total offense, and it's not at the half yet.
Averaging 9 yards a carry is Chuck Foreman in this game. Minnesota has all 3 of their timeouts remaining. It'll be second and goal for the Vikings. Tarkenton, of course, the quarterback. He drops. Looks for Bob Tucker, but the sack gets him. Charlie Davis is the guy who led the charge. He was looking in the direction of Tucker, but nothing doing as Tarkenton strolls back now.
Charlie Davis, his 5th sack of the year. Had a couple the other night against the Giants. We saw him play against the Redskins in a losing cause and do a heck of a job from defensive tackle. And they're improving. And boy, if they get solid on that defensive side, these Cardinals are going to play a lot of football.
It is still third and goal, but now the ball is back at the 12-yard line. Clock ticking away now, just over a minute left before the half. St. Louis leads it 20-0. Tarkenton drops straight back. Fires into the end zone. Almost picked off by Roger Worley.
Sensabaugh went back into the corner too, didn't he? No, that's Roger Worley. Almost ended up on the pipe. Now he's sitting down on it.
That's the yard line marker that you're looking at right there. Tarkenton walks to the bench, and Fred Cox comes on.
But Grant, though, wants to get off the Snyder, Patty. You know, you don't want to see that 0 up on the board. Get 3 now, and there's a blocked extra point involved, so you feel you'll still be able to come back and get into the football game.
28-yard field goal attempt coming up here by Fred Cox. With Paul Krause holding. Cox drills it. Not good again, and again the Blues welcome Fred Cox. That's 4 in a row he's missed, including last week. The Vikings get there, and again, they get nothing. Graham didn't say a word. Look at it. Fred Cox, unusually inconsistent. And again, Grant says nothing. Just looks.
Boy, that look can turn your lights out.
Starting to drizzle just a bit now. Jim Hart and the Cardinals.
Hart is 9 for 9. Has not seen the ball on the ground after it's left his hand. Think about that.
Metcalf and Morris, the running backs behind him. Metcalf now shifts back. Morris trying to swing back to the inside. Matt Blair made the tackle. Vikings have had the ball 14 minutes, 47 seconds. Cardinals have had it 14 minutes, 20 seconds. But the Cardinals have 20 points.
Vikings have been moving the football all year, but they've only got 91 points at half season. That's, I think they had 160-something at this point last year.
They have not been able to get into the end zone, and Cox, again, has not been very consistent this year. He is now 5 out of 12, 2nd and 8. Hart gives. Mark Mullaney made the tackle on Wayne Morris for a loss.
Mullaney's a big guy from Fort Collins, Colorado. He's playing in place of Jim Marshall, who must have re-injured that hamstring pull. Let's watch the play now. You'll see it to the left part. I believe Finney just can't handle him this time. Number 77 just runs right over the top of the blocker. Good play.
Hart pays a visit to the sideline. Don Coryell looking over his shoulder now. The conversation goes on as
Remember when Jimmy Hart came up, he had one of those years where they had 30 interceptions. And
right.
Sometimes young quarterbacks are ruined, but as soon as they put the right people around him and gave him protection, this guy's as cool a customer as there is squeezing it off, I'll tell you.
Don't forget to stick with us at the half for highlights and scores from around the league.
See a lot of Vikings looking down at the ground on that sidelines over there.
They have been flat from the beginning. Jim Hart's been sharp from the beginning.
As we've said, that offensive line that he works with, they should run a pirate ship. They are tough and aggressive and very, very good at their trade.
10 seconds left before the half. It is St. Louis 20, Minnesota nothing. Both teams have been able to move the ball on offense. Here's Jim Hart then on 3rd down. Draw play to Morris. He swings to the outside. He's going to have enough for a first down and maybe more. Morris trying to get out of bounds and finally does it midfield. Jeff Wright got him out of bounds with 2 seconds remaining before the half. Boy, he's a good-looking runner.
You talk about running to daylight. Now watch Finney sort of tip pass, and number 77 will go to the outside, and then they just take him that way. Page gets caught chasing around, and I'm telling you, it's a relay again. I've never seen so many wide-open offensive players in one half of football on both sides.
Cardinals will have time for one more play as Morris got out of bounds. Ball just shy of midfield where it'll be 1st and 10. I think I've ever seen the crowd quite this quiet here.
Anywhere.
Last play of the first half. Hart. Deep for Gray. Picked off and out of bounds. That'll do it.
It's as good as a coffin corner punt, though, isn't it?
Nate Allen made the interception. And that's the last play of the first half as the Vikings here boo as they head to the locker room.
Panasonic invites you to take a picture of a voice with a Panasonic cassette tape recorder.
Country. Things was a lot different than it is now.
All with built-in mics. Some with built-in radios. There are pocket models.
Should last another 50 years.
And even some that record in stereo.
Say something. Come on, speak something.
So take a picture of a voice with Panasonic.
Say something, bark.
Sit tight, Pop. I'll pump myself. Let me tell you something, gang. Any gas will get you where you want to go. But it ought to be in there cleaning your carburetor, too. Now, you want to make sure you're getting the job done, use new STP gas treatment. You just pump in a can with every tank load of gas, and it goes to work cleaning like a bandit. Clean that carburetor. Get a hold of this, and do it yourself. Keep the change, partner.
Sail ahead! I struck oil! We can get married now.
But, Billy Joe, you are dressed for a Del Rio dogfight. You'd sure look better in Hager's slacks. Or a Hager sport coat and slacks. Even a Hager vested suit. A variety of outfits you don't have to be rich to afford. Oh, Billy Joe, you look like $1 million.
Make that 2.
Billy Joe.
Because looking good makes you feel good. Rafferty relies on unorthodox treatment when an unknown disease threatens the life of his nurse.
It hurts like hell. What's the matter with me? Brought her home to die. I can't help it. I don't want to be this way.
If you want to go, go all the way.
Join Rafferty on a life-saving mission, Monday at 10, 9 Central and Mountain.
Next Saturday, CBS Sports Spectacular presents highlights of NASCAR's 18th annual Dixie 500 with the leading stock car drivers racing for the checkered flag. The Pendleton Roundup Rodeo with Larry Mahan and Tom Ferguson heading the field of top cowboys. Plus, the world's strongest men competition featuring the vehicle pull. That's next Saturday at 4:30 p.m. Eastern.
All right, Cincinnati bounced back into the playoff picture this afternoon, beating the Cleveland Browns by a score of 10-7. Quarterback Kenny Anderson completed 14 of 19 passes for 153, including this to Isaac Curtis at the 16-yard line of the Browns. Curtis out of bounds, and it sets up this touchdown. Pete Johnson under fire from Booby Clark, his teammate, who says I should be playing. Well, Johnson showed him it was 7-0. Here's Brian Sipe, 20 of 28 for 189 yards for the Browns. This one to Rucker, run out at the 13, sets up this touchdown. Sipe wants his tight end, Oscar Rohn, at the 1-yard line, and Rohn in for the score. It was tied at 7. And for the second week in a row, Chris Barr won it with a field goal, 10-7. Cincinnati's record now 4-4, and the Cleveland Browns are 5-3. Let's now get you up to date on all of the games that are underway and all of the final scores. Oakland leading Seattle 20-0 in the second quarter. Denver has just scored again, 21-0 ahead of Pittsburgh. The Steelers are in trouble right now. St. Louis, the game you're watching, leading Minnesota, and I'll tell you, that missed extra point could still prove to be a problem in that game. Los Angeles leading winless Tampa Bay by 10 in the second quarter. Now final scores. Kansas City beats Green Bay 20-10. AFC gets another victory against the NFC. Likewise here, Chicago played a dreadful game, 47-0. Houston a big winner, a lot of big plays. San Diego, the first AFC team to lose to an NFC team, 20-0. The Lions shut them out at home. The big upset of the day, Buffalo over New England, 24-14. Grogan was intercepted 4 times. Hooks replaces O.J. Simpson and gains 156 yards. Cincinnati and Cleveland, the highlights I just showed you. The Bengals win it by 3. Miami beats the New York Jets by 4. Greasy to Harris for 2 touchdowns in that game. San Francisco wins its 3rd in a row over Atlanta by 7. Philadelphia, Ron Jaworski tosses for 2 and runs for 2 more. 28-7 the final there. The Dallas Cowboys remain the only unbeaten team in the National Football League, 8 in a row, 24-10 over the Giants. And Phyllis, there must be some other news besides football today.
Yeah, well, there certainly is, Brent. In fact, in Atlanta, the Dixie 500 has been stopped due to rain after 336 miles, with Dave Pearson leading. Now, the word is they started up again with Richard Petty and Cale Yarbrough in 2nd and 3rd positions. And you can see the highlights of that race next Saturday at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time on the CBS Sports Spectacular. Now, in baseball news, Atlanta Braves owner Ted Turner appears closer to hiring New York Yankees coach Bobby Cox. Cox flew to Atlanta to meet with Turner, and a group of New Orleans businessmen visited Oakland A's owner Charlie Finley today in an effort to move the team to the Superdome. No deal is made as of yet. And this unusual development in New York this afternoon. The Attorney General has asked 5 boxing promoters to pay their back taxes to the state for matches they promoted last year. Combined, they owe more than, you ready for this, $400,000. Good luck, fellas.
Phyllis, speaking of highlights, you wait until you see White Shoes Johnson in action for Houston against Chicago. Back with that as the NFL Today continues on CBS after these messages from your local stations.
2 reporters try to scoop each other, but it's Lou Grant who gets the blame when their efforts backfire. Tuesday night on CBS.
The unbeaten Dallas Cowboys now return home, and a week from tomorrow night, they host the St. Louis Cardinals. Irv, show us some highlights from that Giant game.
We'll take a look at it. Of course, the Cowboys won that game 24-10, and they came into Giant Stadium with everything going for them. #1 in total offense, #1 in total defense, but they needed a break on special teams. Danny White punting the ball here to the Giants. Hammond bobbles it. Ball's picked up by the Giants here again. Ernie Jones, he's hit and fumbles, and is picked up by Jay Salty, who scoots into the end zone for the first score of the day, 7-0. Giants ball here on the 20-yard line. Pisarcik 2nd and 7. Throwing the ball here is picked off by Cliff Harris, which sets up this play. Now, this is a long pass here. Stahlbach trying to get deep here to Richards, and he's interfered in the end zone by Bill Bryant. So first down for the Cowboys on the 1-yard line. Dorsett goes in. Score, Dallas 21, New York 3. Bobby Hammond tries to make up for that muff punt as a Danny White kick here settles around the 40-yard line, and watch Bobby go. He carries that ball down to the 7-yard line, setting up a Hammond touchdown from the 1. You'll see it in a second. Dallas 21, New York 10. They went on to win the ball game 24-10 and remain undefeated.
We have a couple of teams that know each other very well. Got together down in Atlanta. The San Francisco 49ers and the Atlanta Falcons, as expected, a tough defensive game all the way. This is the opening kickoff to start the second half. Paul Hoffer gets his hands on it for the 49ers, and this turns out to be a very pivotal return in this game. The special team leading the way for the 49ers. Jimmy Plunkett held the 5 of 12 for 50 yards, but this a key pass. He hits Tom Mitchell, his tight end. Now Wilbur Jackson gets the touchdown. It's the first rushing touchdown this season against the Atlanta Falcons. It was 7-0. Atlanta trying to come back. 1st and 10 on their own 20-yard line. Woody Thompson will fumble now, and he had daylight ahead of him as he turned upfield. Recovered by Tony Winter of San Francisco, and he got back to the 19-yard line. Del Williams now takes the handoff from Plunkett. Looks like good blocking setup, but he's jarred loose, and that gives you an indication of how tough both these defensive units played. Freddie Steinfort, now kicking for Atlanta, got a field goal, but that was all they got, 10-3. Herb, the Philadelphia Eagles have got a quarterback. Jaworski played so well today.
Had a great day. Ran for 2 touchdowns, passed for 2 touchdowns. The Eagles walked off with a victory of the New Orleans Saints by a score of 28-7, and there were fireworks all day. There's Jaworski's first score in the second quarter, 7-0. Jaworski passes to Herb Luska on this play, and Herb makes a real nice catch here. Ball almost picked off and goes down to the 6-yard line. Jaworski going to a 6'8" wide receiver, Harold Carmichael. He picks it off. That's his first catch. He's caught passes in 74 consecutive games. Touchdown. Bobby Douglas tries to get back, and his ball is picked off here by John Deke Sanders. His second interception of the day and his 4th of the year. Takes the ball down to the New Orleans 6-yard line, and Jaworski goes to Carmichael again. 2 pass receptions for Carmichael today, 16 yards, 2 touchdowns. Philadelphia 21-0 there. Ron Jaworski rolls out there, puts a little icing on the cake. He goes in, and the Eagles win 28-7.
Irvin Phillips, it's now time for the White Shoes Billy Johnson show. Did he sting the Chicago Bears today? We're going to show you the end around. His first touchdown, but it was just the beginning. 61 yards for the big guy as he turns it loose. Got that great speed, got to the outside, and the Bears couldn't stay with him. Now, White Shoes, the first thing we want to see is a little dance down there from you in the end zone. That's it. Don't disappoint. Pastorini, 12 of 19, 247 yards, 2 touchdowns to Kenny Burrow, 85, and this one for 43 yards. Walter Payton, what kind of a day did he have? 18 carries, 79 yards, and he was in trouble here. Going to fumble, and watch Greg Bingham scoop it up and run 34 yards for the touchdown for the Oilers. Mike Phipps replaced Bob Avellini, and the Oilers buried the former Cleveland quarterback. It was a 2-point safety. Free kick coming up now from Chicago, and it is Johnson's turn again. Right straight up the middle he came, threaded his way through 3 would-be tacklers, broke a tackle by a 4th, got to the outside. Now, White Shoes, we've seen you dance. What else can you do for us down there? 47-0. Why not dunk it over the top of the end zone? Miami and the New York Jets. The Jets lost their brilliant young quarterback Richard Todd to a knee injury. Domrays tried to rally him, but it was this combination right here. Bob Greasy, 12 of 15, 132 yards. Hit Harris here for the first of 2 touchdowns, and watch him come right back to Harris. Watch Greasy thread this one. 2 defenders right there. Harris has got it, and it was 14-3 Miami. The Jets tried. This is 4th and 1 inside, and the Dolphin defense held. Now here's Domrays going to Barkham for the touchdown that made it 14-10. But again, it was the Dolphin defense that came up with the big plays. Watch them pressure Domrays. He had enough time. He just couldn't spot an open receiver. Get rid of it, Marty. Find somebody. He did, but not enough. 14-10 was the final score. The New York Jets lose to the Miami Dolphins, and the NFL Today will continue on CBS in just a moment.
Should have bought Mobile One. The oil, it saves you gas, you know.
Should have bought Mobile One. Helps you start at 35 below.
Should have bought Mobile One. Engine temperature hits 500. You're cool.
Should have bought Mobile One. You only change it every 15,000 miles.
Mobile One, the oil that does it all. Take it from an expert.
Oh, they're engaged.
Sit close together.
Show your ring. Take their picture.
Hold it.
Only one instant film gives you this bright, brilliant color by Kodak.
Gorgeous. Oh, are my eyes really that blue?
They're that blue.
Yuck.
Wait till you grow up.
There's only one way to get brilliant instant color by Kodak with Kodak Instant Print Film.
Are my eyes really that blue?
Only one instant film gives you this bright, brilliant color by Kodak.
When you win games in the last minute, like the St. Louis Cardinals, you gotta have heart. That's why we're called the Cardiac Cards. Hello, I'm Dan Deerdorf, and I'd like to show you where I live and work. This fantastic gateway arch stands for the settlers and trappers who came through here on their way to explore America. Some of them stayed and passed on their pioneer spirit. That's why the arch stands for a new St. Louis, too. For our new stadium and a rebuilt downtown. For new riverboats on the Mississippi. New parks and fountains, and people enjoying their town. These people are United Way volunteers. They're neighbors, fans, and teammates working for the Boy Scouts, Salvation Army, and many other agencies funded by our local United Way. They're proud of the Cardinals, our city, and our United Way. I guess you could say they have the spirit of St. Louis. For all of them, we'd like to say, thanks to you. It works for all of us, the United Way.
The preceding announcement was brought to you as a public service by the National Football League. Cardinals have returned to the field. The Vikings have not as yet. I guess they got a lot.
That might not be a bad idea.
I can't remember seeing them so sluggish. Can you?
Well, we saw the Rams sort of roll them over a couple of weeks ago, but I've never seen anything like the statistics at halftime. The Cardinals have 258 yards total offense, and that's an entire game for the Viking defense normally. And the bottom line is points, Patrick. Tarkin is 11 for 18 for 77 yards, but there are no points to speak of. There are no turnovers. They're just being handled offensively.
It is not that Minnesota hasn't been able to move the football, because they have. Fred Cox has missed 2 field goals. Those are the halftime statistics that Tom was just talking about.
The only incompletion by Jimmy Hart was the last one when he sort of disdainfully decided to throw it into the corner and maybe get a touchdown on Mel Gray. Look at this. 124 yards rushing and 134 passing at half.
Bud Grant and his Vikings have returned to the field, and I imagine that he had some words of encouragement or words of disdain or whatever. But at any rate, the score is the St. Louis Cardinals 20, the Minnesota Vikings nothing.
Remember, the first original drive, a very good one by Tarkington, you see him warming up there, ended with Fred Cox missing that first short field goal. And that had to take a lot of the air out of the sails right there.
Bud Grant and Chuck Foreman trotting back across the field. Foreman had a good first half. As I said a moment ago, it's not that the Vikings couldn't move it. The Cardinals have been most impressive, particularly on offense.
Foreman had 72 yards on 8 carries. That's a 9-yard average. And caught 4 passes for 36 yards. Fram missed a couple of wide-open receivers and then badly underthrew Sammy White. And I'll tell you one thing, if you don't outscore this team, I'm talking about those guys in the red and white, you're in real trouble.
Jim Hart, as Tom mentioned, only had 1 pass incomplete. This was the last play of the first half. Nate Allen back to make the interception.
Makes me think that Jimmy Hart doesn't even worry about statistics and all. He's just running the football team and winning games.
Number 21, the dangerous Terry Metcalf, back deep for St. Louis. Fred Cox will kick off for Minnesota. And as that is announced, some boos come trickling down the stands for Fred Cox. Cox line drive kick into the direction of Jackie Smith, I believe, for 81. Flies up inside the wedge. Cox didn't get it back to Metcalf. That was by intention, I'm sure.
Oh, LaRue really got hit, but number 81 likes it, doesn't he? People of the first tight ends, he and Retzlaff, that could go deep, and they showed that position sort of a new dimension.
They got one that can go deep now. The person of J.B. Kane, Jim Hart, and a first down at the 35-yard line. The Cardinals lead the Vikings 20-0. First play of the scrimmage of the second half. First and 10 at the 35. Metcalf came in motion. Morris breaks into the secondary again. He got about 12 before Carl Eller made the tackle, and that's the first time we've mentioned his name today.
First call for number 81. Now remember, this team, the Vikings, have been allowing 5 yards per rushing the last 2 games. Those were that's the Atlanta win and the Los Angeles loss. And look what Eller had to do to get on the call sheet. He had to go back into linebacker territory to make the tackle.
Metcalf, that's what he's done so far.
16!
First down to St. Louis. And again, it's Morris, and again, he gets 4 or 5 yards right straight ahead. Morris has now carried 11 times for 85 yards. A 5th-round draft choice out of SMU.
I was trying to figure who the guys taken in front of him must have been. Those first 4 should be playing somewhere.
Mark Mullaney, number 77, still playing there in place of Jim Marshall at right defensive end for Minnesota. 2nd and 5. Hart gives to Metcalf, and he's got a good hole in front of him. Harry Metcalf shakes a couple of tacklers, gets inside the 35 to the 34. Fred McNeil finally made the tackle, and the Cardinals certainly lost nothing on offense at the half.
A great block by Conrad Dobler. Now, you're going to see Mullaney being handled on the line of scrimmage. Dobler will come behind this pulling. And while you hear a lot of funny things about it, here's J.B. Kane working with Ike Harris. Dobler comes right through there and really ran over the cornerback.
At the 34, 1st and 10 for St. Louis again. Morris bangs to about the 30. Jeff Seaman made the tackle. But the Cardinals continue to chew up good yardage running.
Metcalf will become a free agent after this season. I have a feeling that he may get the concessions at the Arch in St. Louis. I have a feeling he's going to stick around town somewhere.
4-yard pickup by Morris. Make it 2nd and 6. Opening second for quarter number 3. 20-0 St. Louis. Morris again gets the call, and look at this guy. Inside the 5, fumble. Minnesota has it. Morris almost scored. The Vikings now have something to cheer about as they recover. At about the 2, it was Matt Flair who made the recovery.
And only the 4th fumble that the Vikings have recovered all year. Right time.
With the price of most things going up, the sticker price of Pinto, the best-selling American small car, is coming down. As of October 3rd, new 78 model Pintos with more standard features will have a lower sticker price than last year's model comparably equipped. Important features are now standard, like AM radio, power front disc brakes, rear window defroster, tinted glass, and protective body side moldings. Ford Pinto, more car for the money than last year. When America needs a better idea, Ford puts it on wheels.
Who is the #1 investment firm in the East? Who is the #1 investment firm in the Midwest? Who is the #1 investment firm in the South? Who is the #1 investment firm in the West? You know who. Merrill Lynch. All around America, more investors turn to Merrill Lynch than any other investment firm. Sure, there are lots of investment firms, but there's only one Merrill Lynch.
St. Louis 20, Minnesota nothing. Vikings ball. Targeted drops in his own end zone and throws. Robert Miller. Stopped by Carney.
I guess it's sort of a cliche, but Fran's got to go back to picking here and picking there a little bit too. He can't flag it and go for broke all the time. He's really got to go back to a stable offense, but he's got nothing but a big egg up there on the scoreboard. 20 to zip.
9-yard pickup on that pass completion. Make it 2nd and 1. Foreman and Miller to defense. This is Chuck Foreman. To the outside and enough for a first down, not much more. Up by Eric Williams, playing in place of Steve Niels.
Seldom have we ever seen a Minnesota team embarrassed. And I can't remember the last time in Bloomington that they were embarrassed.
Foreman got enough for the first down. They are being embarrassed right now. 20-0 the score by a very sharp-looking Cardinal offensive team.
And the band didn't even play well at halftime.
They were flat. Targeted dropped on first down and throw. Wide open is Stu Boyd.
There he is, Mr. Steady. He's answered the challenge to Bob Tucker by just making another one of his phantom catches. Gets double on the outside. The young secondary doubles on the outside, and Fran quickly picked this up. You can play rubber band defense when you're ahead 20-0.
Mike Sensabaugh made the tackle on Stu Boyd. Another Viking first down. 10 minutes, 40 seconds left in the third quarter. 20-0 St. Louis. Outside to Foreman. Eric Williams right there with him. That's why they like him so much.
And he had man-to-man responsibility. He was running through the traffic as other linebackers were going to their areas. Oh, there's a good-looking rookie linebacker. Watch this now. You'll see him going from your right to left. There he is chasing. When ball and player meet, there's Williams.
Foreman's pretty strong himself, isn't he? There's Eric Williams. The 1-yard pickup. Ball's at the 27-yard line. 2nd and 9. Cardinals fake a blitz and then don't. Talking to try to go deep. Through the outside. Picked off by Roger Worley. Worley made the interception for St. Louis. And now Tarkenton here's the move.
The 12th interception for Fran at about halfway through the season. That's not a normal number 10 statistic either. He gets into a panic situation. Rashad running the out. Worley's like a bloodhound.
Good cornerback.
We're the Van Arsdales, Tom and Dick. We're identical twins. And we drink identical beers. Light beer from Miller. We love it. The best thing about light beer is it's less filling. Great taste. Less filling. It's got 1/3 less calories than the regular beer. Great taste, Tom. Less filling. And I'm not Tom. You are. I'm Dick. You think you are, but you never were.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
You get to be the superstar in renting car when you've got the kind of people who can get things ready, even before you get there. Hertz has more of them than anyone. People who want to get their job done fast and who can put out that extra effort when things get busy.
Go, Hertz, go!
People who know the most important thing is getting each customer away fast into a reliable Ford or other fine car. Come to Hertz.
The superstar in rent-a-car.
You know it.
Be here Sunday when Archie gets hooked on uppers.
Oh, this is gonna wake up the neighbors.
Hey, neighbors!
Sunday at 9, 8 Central and Mountain.
With Tom Brookshire, this is Pat Summerall at Metropolitan Stadium in Bloomington, Minnesota, where Roger Worley's interception has just given the Cardinals the ball in Minnesota territory at the 35. They already lead 10-0. 1st and 10. 20-0, I'm sorry. Hart gives to Morris, and again he finds some good running room. Alan Page made the tackle.
Alan Page has played at about 223 or 4 pounds, and you can be quick, but you can't fool those guys, and they weigh 260 across from you. And that Young is as big as a horse.
Minnesota's been playing a lot more 3-man line with Page right in front of the center. Cardinal offensive unit sets it up on 2nd down. Right ahead is Morris again. And again, he gets good yardage. Down to about the 25-yard line before Matt Blair made the tackle. See what happened to Page.
Alan Page, lighter, still as quick. Banks just ran him out of the play and kept him there. And you don't have to do that for very long with those thoroughbreds running, I'll tell you.
At the half, the Broncos shutting out the Pittsburgh Steelers 21-0. Joe Green had said during the week it's time to stop talking and start playing. Time to do more than that. 20-0 here. Cardinals leading. Here's Terry Metcalf behind Bob Young. Close to the 20.
Metcalf, the ball carrier. Denver's the team that shut out these St. Louis Cardinals 7-0 on opening day, and you've got to see the defense that does that. I can't see anybody shutting down this offense the way it's going right now.
Not with those receivers and now two fine running backs.
Jim Otis can't play, and he had 1,000 yards a couple years ago.
2nd and 6 now at the Minnesota 21. Cardinals have 191 yards rushing already. Page jumped. Here's Morris swinging to the outside and cutting it down the sideline. Out of bounds at about the 11 by Paul Krause. Flag on the play as the Vikings appeared to jump offside.
And Matt Blair, who played so well against Atlanta, was caught inside that time, and Morris just wheeled around and made it look very, very easy.
Side defense 88, decline the penalty. That's first down.
First down, St. Louis. Violation against Alan Page. The Cardinals decline, so it's a 1st and 10 for them at the Minnesota 11-yard line. The Cardinals again lead 20-0.
Corey Evans has said, do not take prisoners, because I'll tell you, they're going for more.
Boy, they look sharp. Nothing doing this time as Alan Page, with that quickness, beat the blocks.
It was offsides, and you don't beat a quality player 2 or 3 times in a row. He just ran right inside of Young and made the tackle.
Scott Studwell is number 55. He has taken Jeff Seaman's place. So 2 of the key members of that defense are out, Marshall and Seaman now. No gain on the last play, so it's 2nd and 10 at the 11. Metcalf swings around to the outside. He's going to score. He does. Into the end zone is Terry Metcalf. The ball came loose, but he was already in.
They put Gray and J.V. Kane in the left formation, ran to the weak side, and made it look incredibly easy, and Carl Eller never showed up, neither did Blair.
35 yards in 6 plays, a touchdown by that guy, Terry Metcalf.
Here he is. Banks goes onside. There goes Eller. Able to leap buildings with a single bound.
Jim Bakken will try. Worley holds, and it's good. St. Louis now 27. Minnesota nothing. We have 7 minutes and 5 seconds left in the 3rd quarter, with the Cardinals looking tough.
I'm John Kelly, a tire engineer. If you think your tires are almost indestructible, then this may be the most important message about tires that you've ever seen. Watch closely.
This car's been running for some time now with one front tire dangerously underinflated.
Inside, heat is building up, till finally, a blowout. Now, here's what can happen when tires are overloaded. Another blowout, another emergency stop.
Any tire can fail under hazardous road conditions, and if it's badly worn, it can fail to stop on wet pavement.
Remember, your tire safety depends on tire wear and load, on where and how you drive, and on carefully checking for proper inflation when tires are cold with an accurate gauge like this one. Because even an expert can't tell by just looking, especially with radial tires. If you don't look after your tires, you're looking for trouble.
The last touchdown came on 6 plays, which the Cardinals went 35 yards after an interception by Roger Worley. 7 minutes, 5 seconds left, 3rd quarter, 27-0 St. Louis. The high kick into the direction of Manfred Moore, but Miller's going to take it at the 20. Robert Miller swings up to about the 40. Now we'll have another look at that Minnesota offense. Don't forget the CBS Sports Spectacular next Saturday at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time, featuring the Dixie 500, the Pendleton Roundup Rodeo, and the World's Strongest Men competition. Next Saturday at 4:30 Eastern Time here on CBS, the Sports Spectacular. The running backs here are Robert Miller and Chuck Foreman. First down, Vikings.
We haven't seen young Kramer warm up yet, have we?
No. Miller takes the pass from Tarkenton and gets nothing.
Now if you're playing defense, you begin to say, all right, let's get a couple of interceptions. Let's force them to make mistakes because number 10's got to start to gamble now. He's got to get it in big gobs, and he's not used to doing it that way.
Just over 6.5 minutes left to play in the third quarter. As you look in on the Cardinal defensive huddle.
I'd like to done the biorhythms on that entire Cardinal team for today's game. Break the bank.
4-yard loss on that pass completion, so it's 2nd and 14 as Tarkenton drops and throws. Chuck Foreman, as Mike Sensabaugh knocked the ball down.
You notice there was no aggressive reaction even by Foreman. Instead of drilling the safety man, he acted like, well, this is part of the game today. You're from behind Fran Tarkenton, and that's about the safest place I can think of. Across the middle, Sensabaugh really reads it, almost picks it off.
Robert Giblin, number 28, is the extra defensive back in the game for St. Louis. Tarkenton again drops and fires. Intended for Sammy White. Nelson back there with him. The coverage was good. And the Blues come out for Tarkenton now. Watch it.
Here he is, the young man from Florida State. As we've said, the Vikings have to gamble. And now the Cardinals don't.
They send Terry Metcalf deep. 21, number 12 for Minnesota is Neil Flavel. Number 12. They're going to try to set up a return. Metcalf lets it bounce first. Viking coverage is good. They down it at the 20, where the Cardinals will take over. Matt Blair was down on the coverage. So with 5 minutes, 57 seconds left in the third quarter, it is St. Louis 27, Minnesota nothing.
It took it all. Bitter cold. 120 degrees. 5 dead batteries. Nearly 4 hours with the lights on. 3 months on a frozen lake. And now it's maintenance free. The Die Hard, sold only at Sears.
In stage 1 of my life, I couldn't stand dull wheels. I'm the same in stage 2 with my new 78 Ford LTD2, the trimmer, sportier LTD at a trimmer price. The LTD of mid-size cars. If you're a sporty guy who appreciates the finer things in life, welcome to stage 2.
Isn't it you in an LTD2? You'll never know till you try.
Welcome to LTD2.
A better idea from Ford.
St. Louis Cardinals have the football, and they have the lead as well. 27-0 over the Vikings. 5:57 left to play in the third quarter. Los Angeles now leading Tampa Bay 24-0 in the third quarter.
St. Louis people can look forward to their team playing the Dallas Cowboys again, and they gave Dallas all they could handle in game number 1. Game number 2 should be a real fiasco.
You saw what a day Wayne Morris is having. Metcalf goes in motion. Morris is the other running back. Fakes to him. It's out to Mel Gray. He gets away from one tackle. Mel Gray with the great speed. About a 9-yard pickup before Mark Mullaney gets over with Mel Gray.
I'll bet you can count the missed tackles by Bobby Bryant in his career up here on one hand. And he had Gray read perfectly and flat missed it.
Bob Young, who was a little bit gimpy going in.
Yeah, that's his natural walk there.
That's what he chooses to do.
If I was playing for Minnesota right now, I'd get in a fight with somebody and get thrown out very quickly.
2nd and 1. 9-yard pickup on that pass to Mel Gray. Here's Morris again. Look at that hole. Wayne Morris. Easy first down for the Cardinals.
And if I was really intelligent, I'd fight one of my own players and get thrown out.
Tom Hannon made the tackle. An embarrassing day at the Met for the Vikings.
Boy, is he quick.
Morris, you mean?
Morris can do it all. And he's had to work for it. He's no superhero coming out of college. He's just a good football player.
And Metcalf, as you can see, also had a good day, or has had. There he is. They used to call him the franchise. You can see why. That's Morris spinning back to the inside. Got about 4 before Scott Studwell made the tackle.
Let's take a look if we can. We'll get Sandy Grossman, our director, to watch the line play on this for a while, because I don't know if I've ever seen an offensive line set the tempo like this one does for St. Louis. They just go out and get a hold of you and let's go.
Metcalf apparently had some kind of an equipment problem. So he's gone out. Jerry Latin has taken his place. Latin will get the carry. James White made the tackle for 72.
By the way, if people are wondering, our mics on the field are working and all, and the stadium is still packed. There is just not a sound.
It is very quiet. No enthusiasm. Not from the crowd, at least.
Look at the composure on this offensive team. Don't forget Ike Harris, the fellow just broke the huddle. He's another very fine receiver.
3rd and 5 now. The ball at the 41-yard line. Cardinals have it in their own territory. Jim Hart calls the signals, and he's going to drop and throw. And Hart down the middle, wide open, is J.B. Kane in Minnesota territory at the 44 before Tom Hannon made the tackle.
Kane at about 6'5", 225. J.B. Kane runs the 40 in about 4'7". And I'll tell you, he is a great-looking athlete. Watch this now. Here's the line play we talked about. They protect this man. Hart's only been down 8 times this year. This is right on target. Nobody within 8 yards of J.B. Kane, the tight end.
It is all called back. Ben Trice just said number 64 was holding, and that is Bob Young. That first down, forget about it. Cardinals have it 3rd down. And about 15 yards to go back in their own territory. There's Young. 3rd and 14. He won that world's strongest men competition, by the way.
He did great when they bit the nails and bent those bars, too.
Yeah. Got some strong friends next to him, too. Hart drops the throw behind good protection again. This time it's picked off by Bobby Bryant. And it's for Harris.
The 3rd interception for Bobby Bryant. As we've said, he's been such a quality big player for the Vikes. They try to stun up front, but Hart had time. This is just good defense.
Pass is intended for Ike Harris. Minnesota has it 1st and 10 in St. Louis territory at the 47. Tarkenton is going to throw right away, and does. Chuck Foreman has it. Close to first down yardage. Stopped by John Zook.
Figure out how the defensive end got back into the secondary to make the tackle. They are really hustling.
It is a Minnesota first down. And a chance to cheer. It's been rare for this crowd today. Ball at the St. Louis 37 now. Ben Drive indicates start the clock again. Fran Tarkenton. Hugh Boyd is number 83. He is tight to the right side. White is right. Straight ahead is Sammy Johnson. Number 48. 225-pound runner.
A ripple of excitement has gone through the crowd.
Just a ripple.
Just a small ripple.
3-yard pickup by Johnson makes it 2nd and 7. Just over 2 minutes left in the 3rd quarter. Chuck Foreman knifes his way down, close to first down yardage again. Mark Arneson made the tackle.
Good block by Goodrum on the left side. Foreman's even going back to the huddle slower than he usually does.
Make it 3rd and 2. The ball now at the Cardinals' 29-yard line. 27-0 St. Louis. That's what Tarkenton has done so far today. Here's Chuck Foreman swinging around to the outside and cutting back. Chuck Foreman, first down. Minnesota. John Zook finally made the tackle.
Tarkenton, he's never been a big cheerleader type guy, but he's always been a great leader on the field. Going back to basics. And this is basic.
Foreman goes out, so it's McClanahan and Sammy Johnson the runners. Tarkenton throws to the outside. Pass is incomplete. Intended for Ahmad Rashad. Worley again on the coverage. Flag is down on the far side of the field. There's Rashad, number 28.
Might have been a double chug. Offside.
Cardinals offside. Cardinals lead 27-0. With a minute and 2 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. There's been Drive marking it off. He'll tell us in a second who did it.
Defense offside number 73.
Mike Dawson was the guy who was offside. Did you say you played baseball against Ben Drive?
Yes, I did play. Unfortunately, one of my 12-hit, 3-inning pitching performances was against Ben Drive.
Tarkenton gives to Johnson. Johnson cuts inside. Inside the 15. John Zook again made the tackle.
Closing seconds of round number 3, and the Vikings not on the board. It's an incredible thing to see on the scoreboard up here.
Ball just inside the 15-yard line. There's Don Coryell. Johnson again. Breaks a tackle, slips a couple more. Down inside the 10-yard line. First down, Vikings. Carney made the tackle.
Remember, the Vikings had 2 good drives and got absolutely nothing out of them. No scoring at all. They have moved the football pretty well.
Chuck Foreman checks back in, and he and Johnson are the running backs. At the 9, 1st and goal, and Tarkenton goes for the corner. Touchdown, Minnesota. Sammy White.
Touchdown number 5 for 85. Very simple turnout pattern into the end zone. Here he is driving Nelson off. He cuts it in good. Good pattern. You don't see a lot of receivers able to make the good cuts anymore.
Pretty hard to cover a guy with that kind of ability. Paul Krause holding for Fred Cox. Block. Cox's extra point attempt is blocked. 27-6. Flags all over the place. Cox might get another chance. Looked like he was just slow kicking that.
Didn't get up either.
No.
It was blocked waist high.
That can be a very lonely spot when things aren't going good.
Nobody would know better than you, Patrick. The leg feels like it's going to fall off, huh?
Oh, boy. Get jelly in the kneecap. So Krause puts it down. Cox hits it. Listen. Here's the touchdown again.
Again, Fran Tarkenton went back to bits and pieces and came out with a good drive, an excellent drive. It looked like the Cardinals may have pulled off a little bit on defense, and they better get that edge back.
6 seconds left to play in the 3rd quarter. Tarkenton, Cox, visit with Bud Grant. What's happened to Rhoda?
Rhoda's fallen in love with a man that owns a restaurant. Way to his heart is through his stomach, or something like that. But it's going to be a good show.
Tonight at 8 p.m. here on CBS, 7 Central and Mountain Time. Forget Rhoda. Minnesota scoring drive, 7 plays. They went 47 yards after an interception by Bobby Bryant. 2 minutes and 48 seconds it took.
You know, Freddie Cox only needs 10 more points now. the pass Lou grows and become the second all-time scorer.
Line drive kickoff goes to Metcalf. Metcalf takes his time. Ends up to about the 27-yard line where the Cardinals will take over. That's the end of the third quarter. With the score, 27-7, St. Louis over Minnesota. We now pause for a word from your local station. Minutes of football left, with the Cardinals leading the Vikings 27-7. St. Louis owns the football, 1st and 10.
Let's see if the Viking pride will bring them back and make them start really hitting on defense. This will be a good series to watch. Page and Big White up there, Carl Eller. Let's see if they really begin to knock some.
Cardinals have the ball at their own 28-yard line. Jim Hart, the quarterback, gives to Wayne Morris, who's had a big day. 146 yards plus for Morris.
373 total yards after 3 periods for the St. Louis offense. It's incredible.
Jackie Smith was in the game, and he just left. 4-yard pickup by Morris, so make it 2nd and 6 with the ball at the St. Louis 31.
Studwell, the young middle linebacker, is in there now and made a pretty good tackle on that last play.
Jeff Seaman has had problems with a calf muscle, and he's resting. Studwell is in the middle. Jim Hart on 2nd and 6. Gives to Morris. Morris breaks into the secondary again. Out to the 45 before Phil Wise made the tackle.
Bob Young just took Page and rolled him inside.
First down, Cardinals.
Well, there's a guy that's taught all the young officials how to drop the flag. Stan Javi, 27 years. He used to drop the flag on me. But he's a good man, he's a just man, and he really helped the younger officials, you know it?
Good guy.
Hard-working guys they are, too.
Stan Javi. First down, St. Louis. The ball at their own 44 now. Pitch back to Morris. Morris tripped up by Mark Mullaney.
Good play by McNeil, number 54.
Oakland 37, Seattle, a tough day. 37-0. Raiders. They're tough every week.
Somebody said that the natural grass would be a problem for the speed burners on the Cardinal offense.
Doesn't seem to hurt them too much.
Good thing they're not on a carpet today, I'll tell you that.
2nd and 10, they lead 27-7 already. Hart on a draw play to Morris. And the Viking defense. By 20.
Got to face your loved ones. In some cases, your wives. After a game like this, you got to be darn careful. You got to play hard. Your loved ones. In some cases, your wives. After a game like this, you got to be darn careful. You got to play hard.
It's 3rd down. Passing situation for the Cardinals, and Hart drops. Firing deep. Hit it for Harris. Good coverage by the Vikings, and we'll see Dwayne Carroll for the first time in a long time. Paul Krause back on the coverage. Let's watch Alan Page for it.
Alan Page working on the line of scrimmage. The only MVP that's ever played inside in this league. And he is mad this afternoon, isn't he?
He hurls someone to the ground. Dwayne Carroll.
Trouble with his contact lenses there.
Looks like it. Manfred Moore standing back at the 15-yard line for the Vikings. Wayne Carroll's 2nd punt of the day. Good high kick. Manfred Moore does not know about the fair catch. He gets outside the 20. Steve Niels is the guy who came down and made the tackle. The Vikings take it over at their own 22 with 12 minutes, 11 seconds left to play.
Cold night, Bob. Did you put in the Prestone antifreeze?
Prestone, Prestone. Who needs Prestone?
Prestone. You need Prestone.
If your antifreeze is worn out or you don't have enough, you could be in trouble. So put in a fresh fill of Prestone 2 to prevent corrosion and freeze-ups.
Prestone! Prestone! We need Prestone!
Prestone, Prestone. You need Prestone.
Why are men switching from aerosol hairsprays to Vitalis Super Hold Pump Spray?
The pump? Because it doesn't spray any aerosol propellants.
The pump? Well, it costs less to use. Save money.
It's because the pump is stronger. Can hold longer than the best-selling aerosol.
The pump. Vitalis Super Hold Pump Spray. Now with an even finer spray. Why don't you switch from your aerosol to...
The pump, the pump.
Judd Hirsch guest stars as Rhoda has a new romance.
Dinner to a drive-in movie, make out a little bit.
Yeah, last night. Sensational.
Watch Rhoda Sunday night.
12 minutes, 11 seconds left to play. Metropolitan Stadium in Bloomington, Minnesota. St. Louis Cardinals lead Minnesota 27-7. Minnesota football at their own 22, first and 10.
Tarkington is 17 for 27.
One touchdown. He throws to Chuck Foreman right in the middle, and Foreman struggles for about 8 before the Cardinals converge, led by Mark Arneson.
Let's see if Tarkington tries to run Foreman out of the backfield and maybe go to Rashad deep, figuring a double might be on Sammy White. Let's see, Rashad's going over to the right side. With
Second
Sammy
and 2.
White.
Sammy Johnson spinning into the middle. He did not get the first down. Charlie Davis led the charge by the Cardinal defense.
Jankowski's played pretty well against Ron Yeri. Yeri might be one of the premier blockers in football, and Jankowski's been on top of him all afternoon.
Less than a yard to go with the ball at the Minnesota 31. Less than a yard to go for the first down, I should say. Clock running with just over 11 minutes left to play now. Mark Keller. Straight ahead, dives over the top for a Minnesota first down. They got it. 27-7 the score. The Cardinal offense dominated the first half, led by Wayne Morris. Jim Hart.
A lot of speed. And I'll tell you, they're sort of brassy about it. You know, the Cardinals came onto this field today like it was their ballpark.
They played like it was their ballpark. Tarkington drops. Spins to the outside, now goes deep. He intended for Rashad. He can't get it. Nelson back with it.
Ahmad Rashad, the leading receiver for the Vikings, 27 catches, but again, the numbers tell the story. Not a touchdown pass this season. Good receiver.
Wayne Morris alone has gained 149 yards rushing. Viking total is 101 yards. Morris and Metcalf in the Cardinal backfield have been most effective. It'll be second and 10 for Minnesota now. Clock stopped at 10:26 left to play. It'll be a draw play to Sammy Johnson. Arneson took the top half. Mike Dawson around his ankles. And it'll be a third down situation for Minnesota.
The only reason everybody's so disappointed is because this team has played so well for so long under this man, and it's hard for him to understand today. I'm sure if there was an out-and-out reason, he'd have it.
Third and 8. Very quiet. Tarkington almost got hit. A flag goes down, and Bob Tucker made the reception and got close to first down. Eric Williams made the tackle on Tucker. But back close to where Tarkington was is a flag.
Well, Zook was making a run around the blocking pattern and almost got to Fran, but I believe it was going to be probably holding back there. Maybe that's the reason Zook didn't get there.
And Drive lining up things. Walking back. 9:50 left on the clock remaining in this game.
Offense, illegal use of the hands, number 62.
Number 62 is Ed White. So it'll now be 3rd and 19 to go for a first down for Minnesota. The ball back at their own 24-yard line. Cardinals lead by 20.
And under 10 minutes left in the football game. Fran can no longer dibble and dabble. He's got to get with it now.
Got 19 big ones he needs to get for a first down, and he drops straight back. Or did for a while, and now he's down. Stopped and sacked by Mike Dawson. Big number 73, Dawson, sacks Tarkenton. It's 4th down, Minnesota now.
6'4", 274. Loop to the outside. Jankowski goes inside. It's a heck of a defensive maneuver. They weren't supposed to be able to sack people. They're playing pretty well at it.
Jankowski occupied 2 blockers. Dawson made the sack. Here is Neil Flavell. Fine kick in the direction of Pat Tilley. And Tilley straight ahead. In Viking territory, back to the 20. Or back about a 20-yard return to the 44-yard line, where it'll be 1st and 10 for the St. Louis Cardinals, who already lead Minnesota 27-7. 9:20 left to play.
Oh, another all-nighter for the old workaholic, huh?
Somebody's got to get the work out.
Many people drive themselves too hard, and it's putting the cost of health care under a lot of stress. Blue Cross and Blue Shield plans have programs to hold costs down, but everybody needs to help.
I hear you're working on a transfer.
Huh?
Yeah. There's that big office in the sky.
When you overtax yourself, we all pay for it.
All of us helping each of us.
Energy for a stronger America.
A lot of the oil and gas under America's land has been found, and our known resources are dwindling. Right now, we're using nearly twice as much oil as we're producing, and considerably more than we're finding. This is why Exxon researchers continue to look beyond conventional sources for more energy, including ways to harness solar power, in order to provide more energy for our strong America.
First down, St. Louis. In Viking territory again at the 44. 27-7 Cardinals over Minnesota at the moment.
Hart is 10 for 12, 2 interceptions, but only 1 ball has hit the ground after he's thrown it. Is that an incredible piece of trivia?
Gives to Morris, and Morris spins close to first down yardage. About a 9-yard pickup before Tom Hannon made the tackle. Tampa in Los Angeles, 24-0, 3rd quarter. Rams over the Buccaneers.
Look at that Deerdorf, number 72. The big right tackle, who is really sort of the counselor at large for the offensive line. He's got to be 285. Has just been one of the super blockers, and really, I think their leader. I'd follow
9
it.
yards. You'd have to. 9-yard pickup by Morris. Ball is loose, flags down all over the place. 2 or 3 people offside. And Tommy Kramer is now warming up behind the Minnesota bench.
Can you believe there's been no temper flare-up or anything? No frustration by the experienced Minnesota Vikings who are being embarrassed?
For the most part, it's been a very unemotional game. 8:41 left to play. The ball at the 41-yard line as the officials discuss things. Tommy Kramer is the rookie from Rice who had such a great year last year.
Offense, illegal motion.
Illegal motion against the St. Louis offense. We were watching Kramer warm up before the game. He can throw it. There he is.
Rice, huh? Got the good release, doesn't he? Comes straight over the top. Surprised we haven't seen more of him today.
Bob Lee, the other Viking quarterback, is out with a hand injury. So it's Kramer and Tarkenton. That comes in motion. Pitches back to Morris. Good blocking out in front. Close to first down again. On the far side of the field, however, is a flag.
Look how quickly now the offensive play gets outside the perimeter. Deerdorf even pulls. Eller's backed off by J.B. Kane. Blair does not show up. And that's just like you're doing it in dummy scrimmage.
Like Latin, who was in motion, was going toward the line of scrimmage when the ball was snapped. That's probably
Offense illegal motion number 32.
Was Jerry Latin. 8:33 left to play now. The ball now back at the 46-yard line where St. Louis has it. Make it second down and 12.
And Hart hasn't thrown in a while.
Second down 12 for the Cardinals at the
Might now.
46.
And he does. Picked off by Minnesota. Scott Studwell on the interception, and the Vikings